Any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome to Ask the Experts radio show, proudly sponsored by board-certified family law attorney Tina Lewert of Lewert Law, LLC. Sit back for the next half hour as host Steve-O interviews top experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Steve-O offers such educational topics as community association law, family law, chiropractic care, employment law, healthcare law, and public insurance adjusting. Interviews by top experts in their field. And now, here's your host, Steve-O.
Hey, good evening, everybody here in South Florida. This is the Ask the Expert show. I am your host, Steve-O, and we have been doing this show for 7 years now. We're on every Thursday night from 6 to 7. That's drive time for those of you who get to go home early from work. And we do shows on legal, health, financial, and home improvement. We also really get down to the nitty-gritty on South Florida law, which we're going to be doing tonight. Tonight's show is a very special show because we are now in hurricane season, and I got to tell you, and I'm looking over at our expert, he can't say that, but I can. God, we are so due. I'm not trying to put the bugaboo on us, but we are so due for a hurricane. We haven't been hit at all.
Yes, knock on wood.
I know.
Knock on wood that doesn't happen. But Mother Nature has not expressed her appreciation recently, to say the least. South Florida. I think ever since Andrew in 1992, South Florida has really kept preparing itself more and more for a very big one. And unfortunately, we had one a couple years ago with Irma. And, it just seems to be a cyclical thing in nature. But I'm not a meteorologist. Everyone I hear from is just saying that the climate's getting worse and that, it is time to watch out. We've had more floods, but I don't know. No one wants that type of catastrophic situation where lives are in danger or properties in danger and things like that. You don't ever hope for that.
Well, I got to tell you, let me introduce Attorney Chad Robinson. And I got to tell you, we're going to be talking tonight on property damage claims. When the insurance company doesn't want to pay you, well, they don't want to pay you, but they want to pay you something much less. But I got to tell you, and I haven't even discussed this with Chad yet, I got to tell you, you were so honest the last show. I mean, there was portions of the show you could have said something about public adjusters or, how work is done. But I was so impressed, and that was your first show. And about the microphone. Tell everybody what you do.
Currently, I'm the stadium voice for the Miami Hurricanes.
Remember them, Miami Hurricanes? I just heard today, no more change to Defensive Player of the Game.
Yeah, I think it's a positive change.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
We'll see what happens, but I do think it's a positive change. And
so, do you still follow the Hurricanes?
Well, sure, yeah.
Not hurricanes that are coming here, but the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, my entire life is Hurricanes. It's Miami Hurricanes sports, and then unfortunately the weather sometimes as well. They
could have a good team this year.
They seem to be doing very well with recruiting, and some of the new rules in the NCAA has allowed them to get some really good guys to come to Miami, and everyone's excited for the new coach and the new kind of campaign and the new environment that he's creating. So it'll be really interesting to watch, and I hope the fans come out because it's always more exciting.
Yeah, really.
And it's funny. My entire my entire wife's side went to the University of Miami, so they're all
That's
alumni
good.
there. Yeah.
That's good. So there's so much that people do not understand when it comes to claims and collecting claims, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Before we get started, Chad, tell everybody about your practice.
So my practice covers all 67 counties in the state of Florida. We help homeowners and business owners collect benefits that they're rightfully owed against insurance companies who wrongfully deny, and that's the key word, wrongfully deny.
And you were on the other side.
Or underpay, yes. And so, we try to develop the strategies to work with, the insurance companies to try to get a fast and reasonable result and a positive outcome. Of course, there's no guarantees like in life, but, we've been very successful in doing so over the years. The way that I view things is, look, the insurance companies are not bad people. They're made up of very good people who have a job to do. And so I try to approach everything from a very humanistic presentation in front of a jury or mediation, whatever it is. And I try to make sure that everyone understands that it's just a job to do. And our job is to make sure that they know that the job that they're doing currently may not be as accurate as it should be.
Well, let me ask you this. Are they a friend of the homeowners? If you're watching, you can see Chad's face.
That's you hope that everyone is working for the same result.
Okay.
I hope that everyone is working for the same result. But insurance companies are for-profit companies. The only one that's technically not is Citizens, created by the government of Florida as a insurance company of last resort, and we can kind of go in more detail what that actually means. There's been a lot of
insurance companies that have gone out of business.
Yeah, there have, and that seems to happen cyclically with the big storms that come. If you look back when Hurricane Wilma and Katrina happened in kind of the mid 2000s, 2005, 2008, that corridor of time, the insurance companies went under, and they go under for various reasons. And there was a news article recently that stated that there's really not enough forensics done on insurance companies that go under in order to determine if it's mismanagement or it's excessive claims or whatever it may be. I will tell you, there are the people that I work with, other lawyers in this industry that I know, do it for the right reasons. Are there bad apples that precipitate type or perpetuate stereotypes and things in the news? Of course, and that's used as fodder. But there's really some really good folks doing what we should do to get people's lives back together, and that's the ultimate goal at my firm.
Are you regulated by the state?
Well, we have the Florida Bar that regulates all the attorneys in the state, and as far as the insurance company, the Department of Financial Services for the state oversees kind of the entire insurance world, and that's why you hear from Jimmy Padronis, who is the oh man, my brain just
live television.
My brain just froze as to what his position is, but that's why you hear of Jimmy Patronis, and you'll hear from all the CEOs of all the insurance companies. That's why that happens.
So
I literally just lost my train of thought. I thought it was good to announce that, though, so that people just didn't think their radios died or something.
How did you decide? Because most of your practice is about claims.
Sure.
I mean, you do personal injury.
Yeah. There
auto accidents.
There are some other various practice areas that we approach in my law firm. But the main focus is this, and the reason is just because I kind of fell into it early on in my practice of insurance coverage, and so my law firm doesn't. Obviously, we're touching upon property damage because it is hurricane season. But my law firm also handles boat claims and car claims and plane
Slips
claims
and
I've done.
falls, things like that.
Right, but I'm saying even in the insurance coverage
Yeah,
circumstance.
because it's not just the weather related. There's smoke and fire damage.
Correct.
There is, God, someone breaks into your house.
Yeah, I actually had a very interesting fire case recently. The fire case was of a collectible. It was a 2015 Porsche collectible that blew up because of the charger. Each of these Porsches, in order when they're in the garage, they have a charger that's plugged into them just to keep the battery hot because they're not often driven. So that charger, it's called a trickle charger, blew up and started a fire in the engine of the Porsche. So we had to contend with the insurance company who wasn't rightfully paying these benefits to this fire that had occurred. So that's an example of another type of case that I do at my law firm that a lot of the people that do what I do actually don't touch upon it. And the reason is because I started doing general insurance coverage disputes. And then we kind of zero in a lot on property damage.
I got to tell you, so I'm in 8 cities, a lot of Texas cities, so that's usually a problem, Houston especially. But I got to tell you, what I've learned about your industry is, and folks, please, I mean, take this from where it's coming from. Most personal injury attorneys, which is what they work on, also, on top of that, do property damage claims. It's not a big part of their business. On the other hand, Attorney Chad Robinson, it's just the opposite probably that, I mean, he really, his heart is into claims with working with the insurance companies, and he also does personal injury. I want someone that a lot of their experience is with claims. And that's where you come in at. So I'm kind of bragging on you because you're not going to do it. He's a good, humble guy.
I appreciate that, but I take a lot of pride in what I do. I try to keep up to date as a lot of lawyers do on case law, but I'm a geek about it. I like exploring case law in other jurisdictions. We do some work in other jurisdictions too outside of the state of Florida, but I always think that it's interesting to find out how other states approach certain things, especially bigger states like California or problematic states like Texas, which have a lot of different type of climates in it.
Can you practice in Texas?
I'm not licensed in Texas, but I have worked by special admission in the state of Texas.
Okay, so if someone, because we have a lot of listeners from Texas, if they have flooding, which they get a lot of, are you allowed to assist them?
Well, it would be good for them to call me only because I tell all my clients, look, I want you to know that I'm here for any legal resource that you have, any legal resource you need. Meaning, if you don't need my particular services, call me and let me direct you to someone who I trust, who I would refer a friend or a family member to.
I love this guy.
I'm your online library. I've tried to develop relationships with many attorneys throughout the country so that I know who to refer to, because frequently you'll get calls from other states. I actually have a funny story because there is a gentleman in the state of Texas whose name is Chadwick Robinson, and I get calls for his clients, and he gets calls from my clients because they're looking up Chad Robinson,
right,
or they're looking up Chadwick Robinson, and he's in Texas, I'm in Florida, and so I'll get calls frequently. He does somewhat of the same type of law, but he also does criminal, so it's easy. Okay. It's easy to say, you're looking for this
attorneys
person.
out there. Their shingle says bankruptcy law, criminal law, family law. And we also do some claims work.
I just think that insurance companies are getting a lot more savvy. They hire very smart attorneys,
right?
And their attorneys know the law as well as we should. And I think it's a much more niche practice area than people give a lot of appreciation for it. And they find out. I would never venture into bankruptcy because it's a very niche area of the law, and that's just my comfortability level. So if you're looking for someone who specializes in this, or focuses more would be the best word, focuses more on then I'm the law firm that you would come to.
And we did name all the areas. It's fire and smoke, mildew.
So it'd be fire, smoke, hail, mildew, hurricane, tornado, pipe leaks, mold. Basically, any type of situation going on in your house would be something that you would call someone like me, or even or a public adjuster.
When do they call you though?
Well, it would be with
should you come in?
I would, the law says one thing, but I think that it's even a little tighter than what the law says. The law says when a reasonable person would know that there was some type of damage that had occurred, or under the circumstances. Like if a hurricane comes, would they have known that there was damage to their roof? But we fight in court all the time about our client is not going up on the roof to figure out if they have hurricane damage. So
very good.
It's fun sometimes. So so those would be the so I would say it's a little tighter than that. I would say that it's not what a reasonable person. I would just say that it's as soon as an occurrence happens that would give rise to an incident. So to even make it more simpler, because that was legalese, and later in the day I just only speak in lawyer, was that if you have a leak in your house and you see that it damaged some part of your house, give me a call. If it's a claim, then you make the claim, or you either give me a call, give a claims professional call that you trust, public adjuster, whatever is going to get us to the next step, because you as the homeowner or the business owner have a duty to provide prompt notice. That's what the word is, prompt notice. Some policies say immediate notice, but prompt notice to the insurance carrier of a claim. So in answer to your question, it depends on the circumstances. Okay. If you have a fire, obviously. If you have a hurricane, obviously.
Right.
If you have obviously once the damages show up. Tornado, same thing. If you have water leak, if the water causes damage, then that would be a time to give a call to worry about a claim. If your water spills on your floor and then you wipe it up and everything's okay, that's not a claim, okay? Yeah.
We're going to go to break. Give everybody your phone number, how they can reach you at your office.
So the best number to reach me on, and probably the one to easily remember, is 786-519-2423.
And what is your website?
My website also tries to make it very easy. There's two websites you can go to actually contact. It's chadrobinson.com or yourdamagelawyer.com.
Okay, we're going to go to break.
That's 786-519-2423.
Okay, we're going to go to break. When we come back, we've got more with attorney Chad Robinson. We'll be right back.
Do you have a property damage claim that's reached a dead end with your insurance company? Has your business suffered and your insurance won't pay? The right attorney to handle your claim is attorney Chad J. Robinson, Esquire, who will help you get the money you deserve. Attorney Chad J. Robinson, your damage lawyer, has the professional experience and wealth of resources needed to deal with your home or business insurance or commercial insurance claims. No matter how small or large the amount of loss or damage may be, reach out to the experienced attorney, Chad Robinson, to find out how he can provide legal assistance to help you recover and get your life back on track. Your damage lawyer has years of experience dealing with insurance companies in Florida and throughout the country. Your damage lawyer is a law firm that is devoted to both corporate and individual policyholders in the state of Florida. Our goal is to make sure that these policyholders have the best possible representation on their side when dealing with their insurance company. When you need a personal injury lawyer, an insurance lawyer, or a business lawyer, you need Chad J. Robinson, PLLC. Contact his law firm by calling 561-564-0233 and schedule a free legal consultation. They are here for you.
We are back now with more of the Ask the Experts radio show, proudly sponsored by board-certified family law attorney Tina Lewert of Lewert Law LLC, covering South Florida.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert show. This is our 7th year. We're on every Thursday night from 6 to 7 drive time. Not an easy time to get. We have, I think I am just really liking this guy. He's attorney Chad Robinson. And what's so great about Chad is the way you explain to people that you don't talk over their head. We're in hurricane season now, and it seems like we've gotten a lot of rain this year, wind and rain. We're in storm season, so what are some of the helpful hints that you can give to people?
So I really like this question because it allows us as consumers and as homeowners to really prepare in the best way possible. One of the things that I would always recommend, and I do at my house, is you don't have to necessarily do this until you hear of a storm coming by, or 10 days out, 5 days out. But I go into every room. I take a picture of every room. I take a wide shot, and then I take detailed shots, and that'll show the condition of the room before, God forbid, anything happens.
What a great idea!
Then, any type of really expensive items, you're gonna take photographs of that and the condition of those things. That could be collectibles. Now, one of the things that people always find out after the fact is what their insurance policy covers and what it doesn't. Collectibles are frequently not covered up until the value of what it is. There's sublimits that are applicable. Could be $500 when you're having a painting that's worth $10,000. So you want to get those things individually appraised and insured. So, and then the other things that I would always do is try to make an inventory of personal items that, if were lost or damaged, you would absolutely be able to recover. Or would want to recover. The last item that I would say, and these are for people probably in more prone areas, is I would try to always more flood prone areas. I would keep these important documents, insurance policies, certificates of warranties if you have them, things that are going to really be necessary to show the insurance company, show the warranty company, show anyone the value or what's covered. These important papers, I would put them in a Ziploc bag. Seems very simple enough, but in a rainstorm and a hurricane, when things are coming in, and I've seen whole roofs collapse inward and all the rain come in, and documents destroyed, this is really going to save you that in the end.
What about jewelry?
Well,
Do you
jewelry,
take pictures of those, or
definitely.
Okay, you do take pictures.
I would definitely, if you're not keeping jewelry in a safe place in your house, then absolutely document it. Frequently, that comes into play when you have theft claims. Those are theft and vandalism claims. Jewelry is frequently undervalued, and the reason is because a lot of policies just cover jewelry in a blanket type of fashion, meaning they are just saying jewelry and watches and rings are $1,000. They're not saying this rare watch that is 50 years old and has been in your family for years and is worth $25,000 is worth X. They're not saying those in those insurance policies. And so that is why it's always advisable and recommended that if you have those types of items in your possession, you want to get them appraised sooner rather than later. You're not going to be able to do anything when a hurricane comes closer. And you keep saying tomorrow, 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 and it's not going to be good tomorrow.
You've seen a lot of this, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen
People who didn't document, take pictures, things like that.
Well, the insurance companies expect you now more than ever to keep track of every document that you've ever had in your entire life. So, and I don't say that in a sarcastic manner. The type of requests that we get in litigation from homeowners as to what occurred 15 years ago, or if people are living in their house. I have clients who live in their house for 30 years. They don't have something from the 1980s. It just, I wouldn't want you to have something that is that old in your house. It's too filled with mildew and mold by now, I'm sure. So I think that the main way that you can keep everything documented is to scan it into your phone. They have apps for that. I think that's probably the only way we can do what we need to do in litigation and prove our case. It's getting to that point.
Do you enjoy going to court? I know you don't want to have to, get to that point.
I think I used to enjoy it a lot more. The environment in which we are in right now is very adversarial, very antagonistic, and a lot of it is taking place on Zoom, so you don't get that interpersonal reaction. Although at the same time you get to save time, which is great. So I enjoy it a little less, but I still enjoy the arguments. It's mental puzzles that are putting together, and at the end of the day, delivering a check to a client who's going to be able to put a new roof on and get their lives back together is amazing. I just want to tell one brief story about that as we're going off on our tangent. The first case I ever had when I switched to the policyholder side from the insurance side was this elderly woman. She had just lost her husband, and it was a flood to her house. She had a huge pipe break. The whole thing had to be gutted. It was a catastrophe, absolute catastrophe. She was a immigrant from Italy, the sweetest woman. We're sitting in mediation. The client ends up getting what she wants. She starts bawling. Not only does she want to hug me, she hugs the insurance company's lawyer, the insurance company's representative, and everyone is just really happy about the circumstance. Not happy about how we got there,
exactly,
but happy about the circumstance. And I knew this was the practice path for me.
Listen, that's a fast 30 minutes. Chad, give everybody your phone number.
It's 786-519-2423, and I'll be there.
And Chad will be back with us next month. He's also going to be doing our Tampa show, which we're really excited about. Bro, good job. We'll see you next month. Thank you. And we're going to go to break. When we come back, we have a new expert that's joining us. We'll be right back.